Hi everyone, I'm excited about this video. I'm excited about this adventure. We are going to be hiking to an area of forest that was burned exactly 1 year ago. Exactly 1 year ago, this area was on fire, and we're only about an hour from where I live, and so I remember the smoke from that fire being visible and being able to smell it where I live. I'll be telling you more about that fire in the morning as we hike to it. For now, I've found a great campsite. We are in northeastern Utah. And this is actually another burn area. So you can see the hillside here has all these gray trees. This was all burned 23 years ago in another fire. And so you can see how it hasn't really grown back that much. I mean, there are some grasses, all of this kind of yellow gold. That's all grasses, but no trees have grown back. There are some patches of greener areas here, but apart from that, it is still pretty barren. We are in the corner, basically at the edge of Flaming Gorge National Recreation Area. There's the view toward the gorge, toward the lake. Don't think you can really see it from here, but you almost can. I'm in the RAV4 on this trip, and just behind the campsite we have these cool rocks, these cool sandstone piles, and then some more cool cliffs over here. And the goal of our hike tomorrow into that recently burned area is to see how much can a forest recover, how much plant life growth can there be in 1 year. Judging by the hillside over here and this, this surrounding area, probably not a whole lot, but I'm curious. It's 7:30 now, the sun is about to dip behind the ridge over there. I'm gonna just hang out here and enjoy this beautiful, quiet area for the rest of the night. Gonna organize the RAV4 a little bit. When I was packing earlier today at home, I just kind of threw everything inside the car, so I need to be a little bit more thoughtful about where I put everything, because otherwise I'm not gonna have a place to sleep tonight. So I'm gonna work on that, and then I'm gonna wake up at probably 5 tomorrow morning, and we'll drive a little, 10 miles up the road this way, and then we'll start the hike to the burn area from there. The hike is gonna be brutal. It's like, well, you'll see in the morning. I have to go down into a steep canyon and then climb back up the other side. It'll be interesting. And so, I'll see you then. Good morning, guys. We have our work cut out for us this morning. This is going to be brutal. Let me show you what the plan is. We are trying to get up to the top of this little mountain hill thing right here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but the left side of the top of that hill is burned. That is where we're going. Basically, the fire was on the left slope of that mountain. And so to get there, we have to cross this huge canyon. From here, it's about 800 vertical feet down, and then it's something ridiculous like 2,000 vertical feet up. And so I have been taking my time this morning. This is one of those adventures that it'll be great once it's over, but getting started is really the big hurdle here. But I've put it off long enough. Let's do this. First order of business, we have to figure out how to get past this little cliff band right here. I guess I'll just go across the top till I find a weakness and then head down. It'll be interesting to see how long this takes. Maybe an hour to go down and maybe a couple hours to go up. Here we go. I think this section will work. Yes. This is the first of what might be a few little cliff bands I have to negotiate on the descent here. It's already decently warm. It's about 70 degrees right now. I think the high in Dutch John is 90 or 88 for today, so it'll be a toasty one. There is another potential way to get to the mountain that I was considering. It was probably easier than this, but not as interesting as this. It involved following a dirt road that I think is usually gated, so you can't drive it, for like 4 or 5 miles to get you to the base of this mountain. Then you still have to climb the mountain itself. Probably easier, probably also would have taken longer. It might have been a better route overall, I don't know. We've committed to this one, so we're gonna see it through to the bitter end. I think this is another cliff that we're on top of here. Let's see. How bad is this? Whew. Yeah, that's a proper cliff. It looks like we can get around it by going to the right, and I can't tell what's on the left, so right it is. And by the way, here's a better view of the canyon that we're going down. Deep, dark canyon. There is a creek down in the middle. I can hear it at the bottom. And I'd be lying if I said that that wasn't part of the calculus of me deciding which route to go, because I'm a creek fisherman and I've been curious about this particular creek for a while. I've just never tried to fish it because obviously it's kind of a pain to get to. Also, there's just a ton of cactus at the top of these cliffs, and so I've got to watch my footing, because if I slip and put my hand down, I don't want it to be in that. The number of spider webs I'm breaking through is truly shocking. Probably best not to think about it too much. The sound of the creek, the babbling brook down there, is getting louder and louder, clearer and clearer, so we're definitely making progress, but it is slow. Almost there. As we're getting nearer to the creek, it's darker, significantly cooler. There's more, there's moss on the rocks here, moss on the boulders, much more vegetation. All good signs. I can hear the creek again. It feels so close, but we have a little bit more bushwhacking to do. Ow. Ow. And some of these bushes have thorns on them. Ah. Oh, there it is. Man, that is a tiny little creek. I thought it would be much larger than that, but it is just a trickle. Like, I thought I would need to be wading across a substantial sized stream. Like, I even brought my Crocs with me to make the crossing easier, but I can just hop across this. This is nothing. Hey, look at this thing. This is tiny. Can you believe this 1,000-foot deep canyon was carved by this little thing? Unbelievable. I don't see any fish, which does not bode well for future fishing aspirations that I had for this canyon. Let me wander around a little bit, see if I can see any fish in here. Well, I think I should probably stop going upstream. Beautiful spot. I'm gonna take a break here, gonna chill for a little bit, rehydrate, maybe snack on something, And then we will start part 2. So let's see, how long did this take me? I've been going for 44 minutes. It was less than half a mile, and it was 605 feet of elevation loss. And so from here, I don't know if you guys can really see this, but there's some big cliffs right here. And I think I'm gonna try to go around the cliffs on the left side. There's sort of a ridge that goes right there. And that's the plan for the ascent up the other side. Also, I've got a nice new hole in my shirt, courtesy of one of the branches that attacked me. Nice. Enough dilly-dallying. Let's get on to the business here. So can you see that rocky slope coming down right there? I'm going to start going up that way and then work it out as I go up. I'm not going to give you a blow-by-blow. I think it'll be fairly straightforward, unpleasant, but I think fairly straightforward. So maybe I'll play some music as I do a montage of my misery going up that thing. And whoa, that's a very, very wobbly rock. And then, yeah, I'll meet back up with you up at the top. Let's see how long this takes. Oh, and we have a single solitary little berry here. I always forget what these berries are called. They're closely related to raspberries, but they're not raspberries. They taste like them. If not better, they're very good. And here we start going up the rock slope. First below the cliffs, then along the left side. Wish me luck. Okay guys, what a terrible hike, but we've made it to the burn. So a little bit before this I got to little patches that had been burned, but from here on to the top, so I'm not yet at the top of the little mountain here, but from here to there I think this is mostly burned. And so I think we can answer the question of what does a forest look like a year after it's been burned, and let me show you. My first thought is that this has clearly been burned before, because all of these trees are basically the same size, right? The same diameter. Like there aren't any 2-foot wide trees here. They're all more or less the same. And so at some point in the past, I don't know if it was 100 years ago or how long, at some point in the past, much earlier than this fire, this has been burned. At least that's what it looks like to me. Second, there's a lot more green here than I would have thought. Look at all of the little foliage, the little plants starting to grow back on the forest floor. That's very encouraging. I think that most of this is aspen. A lot of this are little aspen tree shoots. Here's an example of an aspen tree, a small aspen tree that's been semi-burned, like the bottom part of it was burned pretty thoroughly, and obviously all the leaves were burned off, but you can still see the bark, you can still see those characteristic eyes that aspen trees are known for. And then at the base here, among other places, these little aspen shoots. Aspen trees, of course, have a vast interconnected root system, and they're all technically the same tree, I think, in a forest like this. And so it makes sense that they're just kind of shooting up everywhere. And then there's one other plant I've been able to identify. I do have cell service here, so I was able to take a picture of this thing and do a Google Lens search of it. And according to Google, this is creeping Oregon grape, or creeping barberry. And it's a pretty common bush here in the undergrowth of Utah forests, apparently. And then we even have little flowers peeking up. These are the only ones I've been able to find in this area so far. I don't know if those are just dandelions. They might just be dandelions. So nothing too crazy, but it's nice to see. Adds a little pop of color, a little bit of beauty to the forest. As far as animal life, there's nothing too crazy that I've seen so far. Actually, haven't really seen anything as far as mammals go. Haven't seen any squirrels or deer or anything up here, but lots of insects. I can hear insects around me. I've seen several butterflies, and I've seen a couple birds flying between the trees here. So there's a little bit left, which is nice. This right here next to me is was some kind of pine tree. You can see a little bundle of pine needles right there still. These apparently take longer to grow back, so I did some research to see like how long it takes for forests to not fully recover, but to just start to see some more tree growth. In the 2 to 5 year time frame is when we see this just more, so just a lot of undergrowth and the aspens and the brushes, and that's when we reach sort of peak forage for the deer and other animals that eat this sort of thing. So in a few years, it'll be just an absolute salad buffet out here for the deer, which is great, which is one of the benefits of forest fires. In 5 to 10 years, that's when we start to see the coniferous trees, like the pine trees, start to grow back. So still way too early for that, but this is heartening, this is promising. I like seeing some green out here in what is predominantly just a very dark, charred landscape. And of course, while it is sad to see a beautiful, lush, green, apparently healthy forest reduced to something like this, there are several other benefits. It just re-energizes the forest, basically. And all of the nutrients that were in those trees gets put back into the soil, so it kind of rejuvenates the soil here. One thing that I didn't know, that I learned about while I was preparing for this video, is that it's also good for water purposes, for watershed health, general watershed system health. And that's because with less forest cover, less tree cover, more snow can actually fall here. And so that increases the amount of water that flows through this area. This fire, which was called the Speirs fire, by the way, I don't think I even mentioned that. This fire was relatively small and relatively contained to basically one side, one slope of this mountain. It was about 700 acres, and it was a naturally caused fire by lightning. And apart from being good for forest health in general, one thing I read that was interesting to me that I hadn't really thought of before is that it's good to have these smaller fires that, when taken together, when added along with the other past fires that have gone through an area, it creates sort of a mosaic, a patchwork of forest in different stages of life and regeneration and health, and that also is good for the local plant and animal life. We made it! What a terrible hike. This little point that I'm on the top of right now is called Speirs Peak. That's why this was called the Speirs Fire. I don't know why this has a name. It's kind of an insignificant little hump. That mountain over there is taller and more prominent than this one. So I'm a little bit confused about that. There is a survey marker, a US Geological Survey marker right there where the camera is. Maybe that's why they named this, because they came up here to survey or whatever. I don't know, but as I've mentioned a couple of times, this was not a good hike. Going down into the canyon and then coming back up again. In the first 2 hours, I had gone like 2/3 of a mile. I'm a fast hiker, but that was not fast hiking. That was very slow, just very steep going down. You know, I covered a fair amount of elevation loss and then gain, but very little horizontal distance. To get to this point, to get to the top of this thing, took a long time. Let me double check my phone stats here. 4.5 hours, and the distance was 2.15 miles. Just ridiculous. To be fair, a good hour of that was probably messing around and taking pictures of butterflies and flowers and that sort of thing. So let's say 3.5 hours is probably what it would have taken if I'd actually put my mind to it. And it was really just those first 2 hours, like the going down and then going up to the top of those cliffs. That was the really just brutally unpleasant part. That said, it has been super interesting to me to see this burned area. And so the majority of this side of the mountain, like you saw in that drone footage, that is all burned. And yeah, just very, very interesting for me. And just as a hike in and of itself for view purposes, also not worth it. These trees block a lot of the view of the Flaming Gorge area. We do have some, you know, not terrible, but not amazing mountain views in some of these other directions. I parked and started hiking somewhere over here. You can't even really see that deep canyon that I hiked down into. All of that said, it's all just part of the adventure, right? I wanted to come here, I wanted to see this for myself, and overall, I'm glad I did. This was fun. We're gonna wrap this part up. I'm gonna hike down. I'm not really gonna film much of the descent. We've already seen what it looks like on the way up, and so I'm just gonna focus on steeling myself, on preparing myself for that drop back down into the valley and up the other side. Check it out, pretty awesome campsite, pretty great views. I really get a kick out of finding awesome campsites, and this is one of those. I'm still in the Uinta Mountains, but we are in a different part of the Uintas. This canyon here is called Uinta Canyon. The river that maybe we can see in certain parts here and there, this is the Uinta River. And if you were to continue driving up this canyon here, there's a trailhead, and from there you can hike many miles deeper into the wilderness, into the mountains. And then if I turn around, I can show you the rest of this campsite. It's a pretty big spot, and I'm taking up only one tiny little corner of it, one little portion, but that's all I need. And that's the great thing about traveling in a small SUV. As expected, the hike out was just absolutely grueling, but we made it. And I went and got some food. I stopped for some Thai fried rice in Vernal, and then I got some ice cream, got a couple supplies from Walmart, and then went back up into the mountains here. And let me show you, speaking of traveling in small SUVs, let me show you the sleeping setup I have in here for this trip. It's really not fancy. Anyone can do a setup like this. I just have a bed on this side. This is a foam mattress from Amazon. This is my bin of food. Got a couple of fans here. This one's battery powered. This one is USB powered. Got a couple of pieces of luggage. Got a couple of backpacks here. This one has clothes in it. This one has electronics and some other miscellaneous equipment in it. Let's go over to the side door. Fridge is right there. The power station, you can just barely see it if it'll focus, is right there next to the water jug, the Jackery. Got my drone charging. And then again, here's the bed, got some storage underneath there. So to support the top of the mattress here, I have just this, I think 2 foot by 2 foot piece of plywood from Home Depot. And then it's got a hole in each corner, and then some paracord just goes up and around the headrest to support it. And it works great. And that's it. And there's a little hill, a little ridge above camp that I haven't been up yet. Let's go check it out, see if there's a view of deeper into the canyon. And man, I love being in these mountains. This is my fourth day here this week. So it was the 2 days of this trip. I drove in yesterday afternoon and then camped, and then all of today was in these mountains. But let's see, a few days before that, I was in the mountains for a full day, in these mountains, in the Uintas for a full day, hiking a 13,000 foot peak. Depending on how you define a 13er, like how prominent you want it to be, in this mountain range, there are either 17 or 19 or 21 mountains above 13,000 feet. I've climbed about 2/3 of them at this point. And so I was invited to go hike up one of them a few days ago. And so I did, and absolutely spectacular. I did film it, but that is going to be an Adventure Know-How bonus video. If you didn't know, Adventure Know-How is a paid membership site that I run. It's kind of my version of a Patreon, but you get way more than what I would be able to offer if I did it through Patreon. One of the perks is that I do 2 bonus videos per month. Last month's were, let's see, one of them was me renting a motorcycle and riding it 400 miles in a day to go look at some interesting stuff and drive some beautiful roads. The other one was me talking about 5 cities that Cassie and I either are considering or have considered moving to. So if that kind of thing interests you, and like I said, one of the bonus videos for this month that I haven't filmed or that I haven't edited or posted to the site yet, maybe in the next week that'll be up. One of them for this month is me climbing just a spectacular mountain in these mountains, 13,000 feet. It was a 25-mile day, and it was just awesome. So if you like these videos and you want more of the kind of thing that you see here, one of the perks is those bonus videos. Another perk is a map of all of my campsites. So there are hundreds of campsites on there. That map also includes a bunch of the other points of interest that I show in my videos. So go check it out, go sign up, and it's a great way to support the channel. And yeah, unfortunately there's no real improved view from up here. We can see a little bit more of the canyon that way, but otherwise not a whole lot more. The campsite is right there. But thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed seeing me struggle through the mountains to get to that burned forest. Despite the difficulties, I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. It's all part of the fun. Again, all part of the adventure. Let me know what you think. Let me know, what your favorite part was. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.